Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm your host, John Doe, and today we have a special treat for you. We're diving deep into the world of self help books, and I have an incredible guest joining us. Please welcome Sophia. Sophia, it's great to have you here.
Thanks, John. I'm really excited to be here and discuss one of my favorite topics.
Absolutely. Self help books have been a game changer for so many people, myself included. Today, we're discussing the best self help book in our opinions. So, Sophia, let's jump right in. What do you think is the best self help book out there?
That's a tough one because there are so many great ones to choose from. But if I had to pick just one, it would have to be The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
A classic choice indeed. The Power of Now has had such a profound impact on so many people. What is it about this book that stands out to you?
For me, it's the profound simplicity of Tolle's message. He emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment, which is something that is so simple yet so transformative. It's a book that encourages mindfulness and presence in a way that's accessible to everyone.
I completely agree. The idea of being present can really transform how we experience life. How did this book impact you personally?
It was life changing. Before reading The Power of Now, I was always either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. I realized that most of my stress and anxiety stemmed from this constant state of non presence. By learning to focus on the present moment, I found a sense of peace and clarity that I hadn't experienced before.
That's powerful. It's incredible how such a simple concept can have such a profound impact. Do you have a favorite part or a specific passage from the book that resonated with you the most?
There are so many, but one part that really stood out to me was when Tolle talks about the concept of the pain body. He explains how our accumulated emotional pain from the past can influence our present and how becoming aware of it can help us let go of that pain. It was a real eye opener for me.
That's such an important concept. For our listeners who might be new to this, can you explain a bit more about the pain body and how awareness of it can help?
Sure. The pain body, according to Tola, is the accumulation of past emotional pain that each of us carries. It's like a lingering residue of negative emotions that haven't been fully processed. This pain body can get triggered by certain situations or interactions, causing us to react in ways that are out of proportion to the actual event. By becoming aware of our pain body and recognizing when it's being activated, we can begin to disidentify from it and prevent it from controlling our reactions.
That makes so much sense. It's like carrying around a backpack full of heavy stones from our past. The more aware we are of it, the easier it is to start unpacking it. How has this awareness helped you in your daily life?
It's been incredibly liberating. I used to get triggered by certain situations and would react impulsively, often regretting my actions later. Now, when I feel that familiar surge of emotion, I can take a step back, recognize it as my pain body, and choose a more mindful response. It's not always easy, but it has made a huge difference in my relationships and overall well being.
That's amazing. It sounds like the power of now has truly been a transformative experience for you. How did you come across this book and what was your initial reaction when you started reading it?
I came across it during a particularly stressful period in my life. A friend recommended it to me, saying it had helped her a lot. When I started reading it, I was immediately struck by Tola's calm and reassuring tone. It felt like he was speaking directly to me, addressing the very issues I was struggling with. Initially, some of the concepts seemed a bit abstract, but as I continued reading, everything started to click.
It's always interesting how the right book can find us at the right time. Were there any specific techniques or practices from the book that you found particularly helpful?
Yes, definitely. One practice that I found incredibly helpful is what Tolle calls watching the thinker. It involves observing our thoughts without getting caught up in them, like watching clouds pass across the sky. This practice helped me realize how often I was lost in thought and how much of my thinking was unnecessary and repetitive. By becoming the observer of my thoughts, I was able to create a sense of distance and not be so identified with them.
That's a powerful practice. It's amazing how much of our mental chatter is just noise. Did you find it challenging to implement these practices in your daily life?
At first, yes, It takes time and patience to develop the habit of mindfulness, but with practice, it became easier. I started with small moments throughout the day, like while waiting in line or during my morning coffee. Gradually, I was able to extend that sense of presence to longer periods and more challenging situations.
That's great advice for our listeners. Start small and be patient with yourself. Have you shared the power of now with others, and what has their response been?
I've recommended to many friends and family members. The responses have been overwhelmingly positive. Some people found immediate resonance with Toll's teachings, while others needed more time to digest the concepts. But overall, everyone who has read it has found some value in it.
That's wonderful to hear. The power of now truly seems to have a universal appeal. Are there any other self help books that you would recommend to our listeners?
There are so many great ones, but another favorite of mine is Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's all about making small, incremental changes that lead to big results over time. The practical advice and clear strategies in that book have helped me build better habits and break unproductive ones.
Atomic Habits is another fantastic choice. It's amazing how small changes can have such a big impact. Do you find that the principles from The Power of Now and Atomic Habits complement each other?
Absolutely. The power of now helps cultivate mindfulness and presence, which is the foundation for any positive change. Atomic Habits then provides the tools and strategies to make those changes stick. Together, they create a powerful synergy for personal growth and transformation.
That's a great insight. Combining mindfulness with actionable steps is a winning formula. For someone who is new to self help books, where would you suggest they start?
I'd suggest starting with The Power of Now because it lays the foundation for everything else. Understanding the importance of being present can make a huge difference in how you approach any other self improvement efforts. Once you've got that foundation, you can move on to books like Atomic Habits to build on it with practical strategies.
That sounds like a solid plan. Sophia, thank you so much for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. I think our listeners will find a lot of value in what you've shared.
Thank you, John. It's been a pleasure discussing such a transformative book. I hope our conversation inspires others to explore these ideas and find their own path to mindfulness and self improvement.
And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to check out The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and Atomic Habits by James Clear. Until next time, stay mindful and stay present.